Hello everyone, my name is Raushan and in today's video I'm going to talk about Normal People by Sally Rooney. It feels forever since I have talked about a book here, and today I just wanted to talk about this book which I have been reading for the past week, and finally I completed it yesterday, so I just wanted to talk about it here. Why did I decide to read it? Normal People. It's a very popular book and I don't usually pick something because of its popularity, but this was an exception because of all those posts on Instagram and YouTube. The algorithm won't stop showing me people talking about it, that how good of a book this was. And I have seen a few clips of a TV show adaptation of this book which looks really pleasing and a kind of romantic, so I just wanted to read this instead of watching that TV show. I love British accent, I find it really intriguing, and especially from Ireland or Irish people. But I just wanted to try something. I just wanted to read something, so I decided to read it. So how was my experience of reading it? Was it worth trying, something popular? Well, I'll talk about my background, not this one, but I belong to India and a working class family. So there is a huge difference, cultural difference between the book and my circumstances. In the beginning, I found it really difficult or challenging to read, even though the language was quite easy, but because of the cultural difference, I wasn't able to relate with much what was going on in this book. But later on, there were so many things that I could relate with that I just couldn't stop reading it. I know this is beauty of literature, that you are introduced to many different cultures and you always find something similar wherever you belong to. I mean, this is the truth about our nature, right? No matter where we belong to, we share this universality of our nature. We all feel the same kind of emotions, be it love, mental health issues, or all those emotions that I can't think of right now. So what this book is about, this book is set in Ireland in modern world and is about normal people and young people, Connell and Marianne. This book deals with the relationship between two characters, Connell and Marianne. Connell is a very popular guy in a school. Marianne, not so popular, not even a single friend in his school, but she is rich, and Connell, whose mother is taking care of him. He has no father, he doesn't know who his father is, and his mother, Connell's mother, is working at Marianne's house, and this is how they make a living. And Marianne and Connell, they get to see each other when Connell goes to receive his mother. So this book also starts with a friendly banter between them, and you can see that their relationship is going to be complex because of the first impression you get from that conversation. And it gets really complicated, and as I talked earlier that there's a huge cultural difference, but still there were so many parts later on in this book, and not later on, I mean the first few chapters I was able to relate with it. Let's talk about why Connell was popular and why this complexity started. Connell was popular and she wasn't, and he wanted to have their relationship a secret one. Both of them are very intelligent, they get good grades, and as they move on, they are in college now, the situation completely changes. And I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but this is what I really found. For me, the highlight of this book was their conversations and mental health. The way Sally Rooney deals with mental health and the way she talks about it is something I think everybody should read about. Especially in India, where I belong to, and the kind of society I live in. I mean, in living in a working class family, you don't really get to talk about it. Of course, now we have social media, we have internet, where people are actively talking about it, and you can reach out to some of the professional too, but what you can get from your family and your real life friends, I think is, of course, professionals can be an option, but it is expensive, isn't it? But what you get from your real life friends and your family, I think, is not replaceable. But you don't get to talk about that thing here, right? And you have to cope with it somehow. People, I think people always find some way to cope with whatever is going in their lives. I mean, now that we have internet, we just tend to give up to our pleasures and watching movies. And people find, in my case, I try to escape most of the time by reading or watching movies, right? But I think at the same time, whatever is happening in my life, I'm getting used to things, and I'm understanding the importance of taking care of it, my mental health, and actually talking about it. So I have a few friends with whom I talk, and sometimes I come here and talk. I don't feel really comfortable talking about it here, but because of reading this book, I thought that I should talk about it. So I would recommend whoever is going through some difficult phase, they should talk. I know that the situation is not going to change, but at least you will find. And one more thing, that the hesitation you have, that what people are going to say, I know. So fine, if you don't have anybody, then I feel sorry for you. But if you have somebody, then you are lucky enough, right? You can talk about it, and I hope that they can be as supportive as it needs to be. And let's talk about this book. Who should read it? If you are 16 plus, only then you should read it, because there are a lot of sex scenes here, explicit scene, and it deals with such heavy themes of mental health. But this is also the beauty of it. If you are 18, then you will love the blend of the themes: relationship, mental health, and class, social class. The way Sally Rooney has represented class here, I think everybody can relate with it. So should you read it? I think you should. The language is easy, the themes are quite relatable, the characters are interesting, you can relate with most part of it. And if you love Irish people and Irish culture, then I think there is not much about culture, but it is more about the culture of young people and how actually they communicate, and this gap of, and of course the misunderstanding we have, especially in young people, is something you can understand or read about it here. So I had a good time reading it. I didn't feel that much of emotions as people talked about it on the internet, but I think it is understandable because of the cultural difference. So this is it for today's video about this book, and hopefully I'll talk about A Thousand Splendid Suns, which I read last week, but I was in a really bad phase, so I couldn't talk about it. So hopefully this week I'm gonna make another video. And if you have been active on my channel, you might have seen my conversational videos with people. So I'm gonna try more of that. If you want to learn English, please subscribe, and if you want to know more about books, please also subscribe. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you. Bye.